Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about the hood. Let's talk about them gangs. Come on. That's in them penitentiaries for twisting their fingers. Let's talk about the Hoovers, the Pyrus from looters. Let's talk about having some truces with trades and dudes. Come on. Let's talk about the racist shit and crooked politics. The government don't care about niggas, they love immigrants. Let's talk about my past. Let's talk about my pain. It's so hard to maintain wearing red flame. Let's talk about my thug. You know we had them drugs. Let's talk about that ghetto girl that betrayed my love. Let's talk about Farrakhan. Let's talk about the Bible. Let's talk about the Quran. Let's talk about Elijah. Let's talk about my daddy, my candy-coated caddy. Let's talk about my mama happy that she chose to have it. Let's talk about the kids. Let's talk about the blues. Tune into the Let's Talk Shop with that old school.
Well, for me personally and my family, not just because of that, it was a nightmare. Like, you know, my childhood was hell. You know what I'm saying? For different reasons, for, you know, my personal family reasons and health reasons and losing siblings at a young age. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff I didn't understand, and we was poor, and 3 or 4 generations of people in one house, family members in one house. Then I was raised like Christian, like, you know, and I just was totally mind effed. You know what I'm saying? Just like the majority of us was through slavery. You know, the stuff that we got put through for 400 years. So that was running deep in my household, in my family. So it wasn't really no escape. Like the streets, the homies was an escape, but it was a escape, of a brotherhood of you know, little homies that was suffering the same thing. So we, you know, we'll take our traumas out on each other, and like it was rough. So to see the Willie Lynch, COINTELPRO advance and evolution of self-destruction, especially of Black males in the late 70s and the early mid 80s, it was hell. It was all bad. We didn't know it was hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Like, but you know, I had a real, you know, unpleasant childhood. You know what I'm saying?
Now, did you come from a 2-parent household?
Nah, no. So I think I was maybe 4 or 5 or something like that. Last I remember, you know, because my parents wasn't married. You know what I'm saying? When I was conceived, I think they got married after I got conceived, and then I remember living in Inglewood, like 83rd and 7th Ave. I think Inglewood family. That's my first interaction or first memory of gangs. It wasn't even on the east side. It was I guess because I was old enough now, 5 or some years old, that I seen, you know, something, you know, that didn't look right. You know, it was wild. So that's when I came online to street stuff. Probably when I was like 5 or 6, and I forgot the question, but you know, you just taking me on memory lane.
No, you good. You good.
Yeah, so that's when my parents broke up, though, like, because they was in an abusive relationship. My pops, he just passed, you know, may God be pleased with him. He was a LAPD or a detective or something, and he was abusive, and my mom almost chopped my head off trying to shoot him, you know what I'm saying, because so that's why they even split, you know what I'm saying, because of their abusive relationship with each other. So, you know, my mama took me back to where she was born and raised, on the east side in Watts, or, you know, Compton, and that's really where I grew up. So I lived with my grandparents the majority of my childhood life. So like I said, you know, my grandparents is my uncle, my mother, us, you know. So it's like three generations in one little house, you know, in the middle of a little war zone, in the middle of dope, rock, cocaine, and, you know, all, you know,
right.
Guns and the drugs first hit. So it was the wrong place. It was the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right. Now, did you have a good relationship with your pops?
Nah, not at all. I had no relationship with him.
None at all.
None at all.
And you know what, man? You'd be surprised how many of us share that same sentiment. You know what I mean? In my age group, I don't have not one homeboy that has a relationship with his father like the Huxtables, including myself. Including myself. That shit was only for TV. You know what I mean? But that's for another story. I could share mine too, man.
Yeah.
But now back in those days when you were coming up, did you see more black business establishments than you do today?
Not really. I wasn't even conscious of black business.
Right.
For everything.
Go ahead, brother. I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah. It might have been like like a little dairy or something, like, you know, where a black person was working at, or like an old mom and pops, but that might just been one, you know, one throughout the whole neighborhood, throughout the whole, you know, section. So it wouldn't even be considered a black business, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, you know what? I bring that up because I wasn't conscious of that either.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure just as you are, our grandparents, they were entrepreneurs.
Right.
I know mine was. The men of that day, they were entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
My grandfather and his brothers, they had a barbecue spot.
Mm.
Back then in LA, man, you remember the ABC supermarket?
Yep.
I heard that was black owned. I didn't know that. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
But you remember the TV show South Central with Lorenz Tate?
Yeah, I never watched it. I heard of it though.
It was Lorenz Tate. He was in that show, and Earl Billings or Clifton Powell.
Yeah.
I forget which one of them dudes. They played the owner of a grocery store, because the mother in that show, she used to go get groceries. You know what I mean? When she ain't have money, he was able to give her groceries. And later on, it came out that they was depicting this show. I mean, excuse me, they was depicting the supermarket ABC. It was black owned. And it was always in black areas because they didn't have no ABC in Long Beach. Right. They only had them in LA, the heart of LA back then. You know what I mean? And I saw more black people than anything back then. It was other races and everything, but we was the majority. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw that as the population, but as far as the businesses, I didn't never pay attention. Like I know in Compton, like on Wilmington and Alondra, you know, one of my homies' father owned Miracle Market. That's right across the street from the Compton Airport and Park Village. So Miracle Market was a black-owned little mom and pop grocery store. It wasn't no chain. It wasn't no, you know, no chain of stores. And then like the Hawkins burgers, you know what I'm saying? You know,
Imperial.
Yeah, so stuff like that, but that was just few and far between. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no.
And I'm glad you brought up. I'm glad you, not to cut you off, brother. I'm glad you brought up Hawkins, right? Because we did have a lot of black businesses. And my question to you would be, what do you think was the downfall of black businesses? Because we had a lot of moms and pop stores. Yeah. Just like Hawkins. Hawkins, man, if anybody was ever to be able to sneak over to Hawkins and get a burger, them was the bombest burgers that you ever put in your mouth. But only the bounty hunters was able to. Yeah. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody else. People from my section, I'm like, man, cause we ain't trying to fight to get no burger. Wow. We ain't trying to risk, you know, and that's how you know in the black neighborhoods, man. If this how you know if the food is gonna be good. If you could lose your life there, the food is amazing. You know what I mean? It's fun. You know what I mean? But I think that the gangs destroyed our black businesses. You know what I mean?
Who created the gang? So are we gonna blame the gangs or the gangs created in products of COINTELPRO?
No, they were, and I'm 100% in agreement. But expound on that.
Yeah, so it's like gangs and all that in LA is all spinoffs of the Nation of Islam and the Black Panthers. That's where all the gangs came from, basically, right? And the way that the Nation of Islam and the Black Panthers and organizations like that was destroyed is through agent provocateurs, through agents of the FBI, the U.S. government, the J. Edgar Hoover COINTELPRO. So the same way that they plant they people, of course they Black, you know what I'm saying, but since the time of Jesus, there was always Judases. There's always going to be a snitch. There's always going to be somebody that's going to trade or turn, sell you out, whatever, for their own personal cowardness or weakness or greed or whatever their reasons is. So that's what happened among us. These same people that brought us over here as slaves, that they used the tricknology, behavioral science, behavioral warfare science on us, that taught us how to divide and conquer and keep us fighting at each other and looking at each other as the enemy instead of the one that we all know is the common enemy. Like, get locked up and you behind the wall and you see who running the show in that tower, the towers, or the, gun tower or whatever, then it's no secret. We know that, but it's like a road runner, Bugs Bunny road runner, like little mental governor, hypnotic program that they put in Black people that you can't touch the white man. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can do something to a nigga. I can kill a nigga. You know what I'm saying? I can go head up like the nigga bullets don't hurt as bad as the white man's bullets.
Right.
Nigga stand up and shoot it out like face to face, not ducking and running. And you running towards a nigga that's shooting at you, and know them bullets ain't gonna do you the same as like. So subconsciously, we thought that white people are divine. We thought God is white, the Son of God is Jesus. So if Jesus is white, then God must be white. So their bullets are blessed.
Right.
Their bullets won't just kill your body; their bullets will kill your soul.
That's right.
So that's the kind of mental poisoning that we always had, which allowed them to divide us and have us going at each other instead of going at them as the real enemy. So if you plant Black people in Black organizations and fund them, because they was funded also. They give you money, they'll give you guns, they'll give you dope, they'll give you support. You won't get locked up. How this nigga get out? Why this nigga not locked up? Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. and it ain't like dudes be punks neither. Like, a lot of these dudes was hitters.
Right.
So you're not gonna punk them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
now you know what? I agree with that, but I also put the blame on us too. Because we know that. We know that information. We know that, COINTEL is out there. We know all of that, but yet and still, we still choose to inflict pain on our own kind, right? Like my last interview, I was speaking to a brother named Chill. He up out of man, where he out of? He 16 to life. 16 to life. And he said, I asked him about the tap in. I was like, man, what you think about this check-in culture? I seen a couple of brothers from the East Coast out there in the 6'9" East Coast. They pressed this brother and took his food, man. And it was a brother. And watching that, I was like, damn, it disgusted me. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna just be transparent. I ain't no saint, Cam. I did my thing, but that's it. But let me tell you this. One thing I pride myself on me, I ain't never stole nothing from a Black person.